welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. And joining us now, comic I've worked with both on the road and locally over the cellar and stuff. And looking really good, man. Big Jay Oakerson.
Thank you.
What's up, Jay?
I'm doing good, man. How are you, brother?
Good, real funny guy. And you're doing CrossFit, you just told me.
That's right,
I feel bad. He told me he's doing CrossFit, and I just took another roast beef and provolone.
No, it's good. It's protein. You're working on protein over
Now,
there.
you're really doing the CrossFit?
Yeah,
Because you
somehow.
look good. Now explain what that is.
It's like that boot camp kind of training thing. But I do it 'cause it's different every day. It's like, but it's just like a series of like pull-ups and tire flips. And it's
Right in a row.
Military combine, but it's like, it could be anything from like 5 rounds of it or a certain amount of time. It's short. It's less than an hour is the only reason I'm able to do it.
Do you have to do it at a gym, or can you do it at home?
No, I got to go to a place.
You gotta go
I
to
can't.
the
If I
gym.
do anything at home, and still, I'm even when I go away for like a week, I'm like, the hotel, I'm just gonna bang out some push-ups and some crunches, and I just never end up doing it. And I eat like Jack in the Box
I'll never
at 3 in the morning.
I'll never forget the single only time I tried to exercise on the road. I had lost a bunch of weight. I was feeling good about myself. This was like the late 90s. I was playing the Funny Bone in Pittsburgh. And they put you in the Sheraton there. And there was a gym. And like the Saturday afternoon, Saturday afternoon on the road, when you're just trying to kill time, and I just I ate, I talked with people, I ended up putting on a pair of sweatpants, and I went down to the treadmill, and I'm looking at the Allegheny meet the Assagohoric or the whatever rivers meet, and I jogged for it was at 4.0 the speed. I jogged for I'm going to say 7 minutes. And then I almost started to cry. I was like, "This is just a waste of time."
There's nothing in the world that will ever make me. I don't understand jogging. The days,
It's so black.
the days they have a thing. Sometimes it'll be the workout. Will be something like run a mile, and then you gotta do. If it involves a mile at all, there's just not a chance. I've never been as a kid. I couldn't do that.
No, it's boring. Well, with music on, I could get into it, but so
I
what you're
can't
saying,
because I'm huffing and puffing through. No one wants to listen to music under those conditions.
I'm missing Neil Peart's solo.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. So what's good about the CrossFit is you say it breaks up the monotony. Like, you go to
It's
something
every
else.
day you go and it's like a new different thing you have to do. It's like jumping on boxes and throwing a ball against the wall. It's like it's insane stuff, but it's really it's been good. I lost like 60 pounds.
Yeah, you look really good, but that's good. You're healthy because you got kids and everything. You got to worry about the kids.
Yeah, if I could just get down to under 2 packs of smoking a day.
Now, is that still a problem?
Oh, it's the worst.
But that's got to be, when you're running, that's got to come into play there, man, the 2 packs a day.
Yeah, no, I go, they don't kick you out of this CrossFit if you're not good at it. You can keep going. I'm generally last. It's like a very competitive, it's actually supposed to be like a sport. Like you go and like you compete your
I
times.
saw people setting up for it at some event that was.
But I don't even write down my results. Like I just figured that's like
Still,
the way
I'll
go and work out. Yeah, I just want to lose
You want
weight.
to break a sweat.
Yeah.
Now, is it a class or something?
Yeah, where do you do it?
So like a spin class. Are you going to a CrossFit class?
Yeah, it's a CrossFit gym. It's only for that. But what's hilarious is those.
What a racket!
It really is, and it's expensive too. But what's funny about it is there's so much. Like I'm not a gym guy at all, and I never will. I had a friend of mine, my friend Lewis, I think did your show actually once.
Yeah.
It was an MMA podcast.
Right. Yeah, those guys.
He does, yeah. Lewis decided like maybe 5 years ago, he's like, I'm gonna start being a gym guy. I'm gonna stop smoking weed and smoking cigarettes, and I'm gonna become a gym guy. And he got
It's a big step.
He got down to abs.
That's incredible.
He became that, and he went back up. He's just like a like he became like a total gym guy though. You know, he's like the kind of guy who will.
It hurts your comedy.
Yeah, I think so.
It would have to hurt everything else in life, because if you're working out enough to have abs, that means you're paying way too much attention to that.
Yeah.
Unless you're an athlete making money off it.
I think that's true. I think that's also true, but there's very few good-looking, like, funny people in the world at all. Like, there's just I see them, and almost every...
How dare you?
Well, Jenny McCarthy. Hello.
Yeah.
You ever see Jenny McCarthy do like this?
She's wicked. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's generally not. I actually, whenever I see a comic who's really handsome, you know what's weird about it? That they tend to also be doing the comedy of, like,
exactly.
all these chicks, this one fat pig sucking, you know, whatever.
Right.
And they just go on and on with it, and it's like, who are you relating to exactly?
Nobody.
Like, yeah, nobody.
That's
at
the
all.
worst. It's so condescending and patronizing when the good-looking guy tries to pretend like he has the same struggles you have.
Yeah.
You know, and you just
I know what you're thinking. Did a retarded guy marry?
Well,
it's like, no. No one's thinking that.
Norm Macdonald had a great observation where he said to me once, he goes, you know, a lot of chicks like to BS and say that sense of humor, the guy's got to be funny. And then what they do is they just laugh at whatever a good-looking guy says. Like,
Yeah,
you know, they'll just laugh laugh at George Clooney. And they'll say, well, no, he's funny too. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, because of the best stories that go on and on forever.
I love that. When you played that practical joke on Matt Damon on the set of Ocean's 13. Oh, you guys are just regular guys.
It's a couple of bros kicking it on the set.
Is there anything more annoying than hearing George Clooney and Brad Pitt and Matt Damon playing practical jokes on one another on a set? Just like, God.
There is one other thing annoying. That would be the cast of Charlie's Angels playing.
Yeah.
Practical jokes.
Oh, Cameron is nuts. One time, she told the craft service guy that I hated almonds. So are you on the road a lot now?
Yeah, I'm trying to be as much as possible, but I'm still at that. Patrice O'Neill said to me best the first time he called me when I was headlining on the road.
Right.
And he goes, "How are the shows?" And I was like, pretty much like half rooms. And he goes, "Welcome to the world of the unknown headliner." And that's that world. You go out and they start arguing money, start haggling money right away. And
yeah, there's a weird like I before I got on the Stern Show, I would do nothing but middle and open and an occasional headline and wherever. But you realize when you're on the road a lot, there's a lot of comics that you never heard of who are headliners like in the South. They never get on a plane. They just get in there was this one kid who I worked with in Memphis, Kid Dave. He called himself Kid Dave. He was the kid. But he said that with no irony. Like like we worked Friday night together, and the next day we had lunch together, and I'm kind of like, whatever, depressed. And I'm like, what'd you do last night? He goes, I got laid. I'm like, really? Good looking? You? Yeah, and he pointed out the waitress he banged at the club. She was smoking, and I'm like, really? Wow, that's incredible, man. And he goes, I'm the kid. and then I laughed, thinking he wasn't joking.
Yeah, he didn't get it. He didn't get the joke at all.
He wasn't being ironic. He was like,
he was giving you information.
And and he was eating the salad. He was like, what are you laughing at? But anyway, he only headlined, and he would get in this red pickup truck, and remember he had to go from Memphis to like Tallahassee or something.
Yeah, you know what's weird about with comedy, and as you know too, like how like the up and down, like the actual emotional like ride of it. I remember I did a couple months ago. I did the Sydney Opera House just for Laughs Festival. We performed at Sydney Opera.
You went
House.
out to Australia.
Jeff Ross. Yeah. What an experience just to see that and perform in that main hall like that. And then 2 weeks later, I was at a club called Kazi's in Newport News, Virginia, which was fine. Really nice club.
Right.
They go, we're putting you up in a condo, which, was already kind of like a shaky, like, I'd rather have a hotel, but okay. It wasn't a condo. It was a furnished and fully clothed bedroom in an older lady's house.
Oh, man.
And the lady who owned the club also owned like that house. And her name was Karen, and she had a curtain to separate her living room from the stairs where you go up.
Really?
And the bedroom just had eagles and penguins all over. It was
how old of a woman?
Early 60s probably. Very, very sweet place. So, but that club, I go to that club, and I had like a good set. I thought, but I'm dirty. I'm pretty, especially for this like weird little town. But it went fantastic. The owner walked in the middle, and I guess somebody from the club, like someone else who worked there, like another older lady, got in her ear about what I was doing. And when I got off stage, she just started like ripping into me about how we don't even know if we could do the shows tomorrow, if that's the stuff you're going to be saying.
God.
And you're just thinking that thing, it's like, I just got off
Sydney.
I did the Sydney Opera House. They flew me out to Australia.
Doing the same material.
And now I'm staying in a lady's bedroom.
Was it her husband?
It's no, her husband. But when we got there in the morning, we had to go pick up the key for the front door.
I've done that. Yeah,
from the husband who was smoking pork outside the restaurant.
What do you need, the key, pal?
I always like when you look on the Wall of Fame too, because as I said, a bunch of people you never know.
Right.
And the lady said to me, so the nicest of that story was the next day, the shows did good numbers and there was great show, and she goes, I was wrong. Like, I'm sorry, I came in.
That was nice.
You're really fun. No, she did, which is very rare. They do the turnaround. But she was telling me, she goes, look, the day she was yelling at me, she's trying to explain, like, why it's too dirty for this place. And she goes, we used to have an act named Captain Rowdy would come in here. She goes, Captain Rowdy? And I just said, no. And she, in her mind, she'd already moved.
Captain Rowdy.
But in her mind, she'd already moved on.
It was a rhetorical question. So everyone knows Captain
So
Rowdy.
when I said no, it stopped in her tracks. And she was like, you never heard of Captain Rowdy?
You're pulling my leg.
And even when she liked me, she goes, at the end of the weekend, she liked me. She goes, I'm going to do my best to get you some other work too. I think I know other club owners. She goes, and like Carol, the Cantaloupe Queen of. I was like, no. And she goes,
what?
She books like 17 rooms. It's always, and you're like, I just had an off weekend where I figured I'd take a get. You know what I mean? Like
Carol, the Cantaloupe Queen. The first time I ever heard of Larry the Cable Guy was I was playing the Columbus Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio, in the middle of one of those ones in the middle of a mall. And, you know, I'm waiting to go on stage. And the local MC, again, slightly bitter, aggravated, is, very sarcastically going through my credits. And I look up, it says Larry the Cable Guy. He had the cut-off, flannel. And I remember going to myself, what a loser. I mean, where's this guy going? Like, literally a month later, I found out he was playing arenas.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He was already playing arenas. But I had never heard of him.
I never heard of him.
Comedy. You know?
I saw that 60 Minutes piece on him. And David Tell would talk about he was obsessed with his
60
merchandising all the
minutes?
time.
Well,
I
no,
had never heard of him
That's crazy.
Well, listen, when you hear, guys like, Tell or whatever, all of us, you've been on the road so long and you hear the money they're making, you're like, how is that happening? They were making $20 million a year.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, one of those funniest, like the local guy who's like bitter or just like a little bit jaded was he's a magician, Chips Cooney.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really, this made me laugh so hard. I had just gotten off the road. He was opening for me,
right?
Which is always awkward.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And he's a good enough guy, and he was a really nice guy, and he was sweet. But it's like I still feel that thing when
as
you're like,
nice as they are in a situation like that, it's always awkward.
At the time, I'm like 29, 28, and it's like he's opening for, and he's
he's 68,
and what he's putting into his show, where I'm sitting on a stool and talking,
right?
And he's got the props and the whole thing. But I remember I just came off. I was feeling pretty good because Attell brought me on the East Coast leg of the Insomniac tour to open for him, which was like amazing for me. Yeah. So I came off and he's like, where you been? I go, he's like, oh, you've been going on the road a lot. Chips Cooney's asked me, and he's putting all his stuff on his tuxedo. And I just remember the visual. I'll never forget in my head. I go, well, I just came off. I just did a theater tour with Dave Attell. And as he's wearing the top hat, he's tying the cape around his neck. He's tying the cape in a knot, and he goes, oh, Attell's doing theaters now? He goes, he was always a good kid. Here he's like, oh, man, you're opening for the guy who's excited to open for. That's got to be such a weird play. There's comics in this business who terrify me. Who terrify me. You're like, do you not know?
What's the most depressing thing about guys like that, props guys especially, and guys who wear literally a costume for a club, it's not, putting the clothes on is depressing enough. Imagine what it's like taking them off at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that was like taking off the bow tie.
Well, I always say the legendary Wid. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
There's nothing more
Go
depressing
Crazy
than-
Lenny.
I love him, and I think he's so funny. But when he's cleaning up his props at the end, it's like so depressing.
Oh.
The audience is like, great show. Yeah, come on, I got to.
Yeah, I got whatever. It's like he's a band. He's got to clean up.